Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. O Lord, please lead us from unreality to the reality, from darkness to the light, and from mortality to the immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. My dear devotees, we were all discussing Aparokshanubuhti, the basic text on Advaita Vedanta, the non-dualistic philosophy. Around 10 to maybe I think 12 or 13 classes is over on this particular subject, which is one of the basic text. In the previous class, we did see that the author tried to explain that I am not the body based on our experience. How? I am the experiencer and the whole world is experienced. I am the subject and the world is not object. Though subject can never become the object. I have a body, I am not the body. I have a house, I own a house, but I am not the house. I have a vehicle, I own a vehicle, I drive the vehicle, but I am not the vehicle. So like this, there are a couple of things which in the previous few slokas, the author tried to explain to make us understand that I am not the body from the experience point of view. Now, the author is trying to explain from the logical point of view, from the point of logic that I am not this body. I means here self or the Purusha or the Atman. Before entering into this, let me have a sort of a story or a joke on the lighter side, probably which will prepare all your mind to observe the highest truth, subtle truth. There were two Vedantins in India long ago. One person name was Rama Bhatt. Bhatt is surname and his name is given name is Rama. The other person's name is Krishna Bhatt. There were neighbors, they were living opposite to each other. They were good friends. And both of them are well versed in the scriptures. They had read and they could quote verbatimly any scripture and they had nicely studied. So if you can ask from any corner of the scripture, they were able to explain. The whole village was very happy and proud of their knowledge. For some time, at some point of time, for some petty reason, they had a quarrel. They quarreled so bitterly. They became like that oil and water. They never used to see each other. They used to envy each other. And they used to scold each other. They used to abuse each other. So they were very good friends. They were very knowledgeable people. But because of some reason, they quarreled and they became bigger enemies. Either of, if they get a small chance, they used to fight and they used to abuse each other. And the whole village used to feel, oh my goodness, these people are so, learned people and they are fighting like this. What a pity. So their fighting had spread for few villages in and around. Once, this Krishna Bhatt was invited for a function where he had to speak on Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta. Of course, it was a cakewalk for him. He was well versed in the scriptures, so he readily agreed. He went and he started explaining Advaita Vedanta and especially about the Atman or about the Purusha. What is Brahman or what is self, what is Atman, how it is, etc., etc. And when explaining, he started telling that the Brahman is everywhere. It is all pervasive. While telling this, he had to quote from the scriptural statement, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. Know it for certain, everything is Brahman. Everything is pervaded by Brahman or consciousness, we can say. Now, while uttering Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, everything is pervaded by Brahman or consciousness, know it for certain, immediately he remembered his enemy, the Rama. He said, how can I explain, or how can I accept him as a Brahman? No. Brahman is such more, it is very sublime, and it is something very pure, and it is very great, it is auspicious. And this Rama Bhatta is rogue. We can't accept him. I can't accept him as a Brahman. But here, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, everything is pervaded by Brahman. So how to say that? So he was a Sanskrit Pandit. He said, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, Rama Bhattam Vina, he said. The whole world is pervaded by consciousness. The whole world is pervaded by that Brahman or Atman, no doubt, but except Rama Bhatta. Except Rama Bhatta. So Rama Bhatta doesn't come in this purview or in this category. So this is what happened for a pseudo-Vedantin. We all speak of highest philosophy, that I am self, I am Atman, I am Brahman, nothing can happen to me. I may speak. If I am unable to put into practice, what happens? Just like the Krishna Bhatta, whatever is the status of Krishna Bhatta, you see, same thing may happen to many of us. Or you can see that in the day-to-day, either in India or in any part of the globe, the so-called spiritual aspirants, the so-called religious people, the so-called philosophers, sometimes they behave very foolishly, and their actions and their speech will contradict. Why? Because whatever the philosophy, whatever the knowledge they speak, but they have not put into practice. It has not been internalized. It has not become the fact in their life. So that is a reason, their life, their actions and their speech, there will be a great contradiction, just like with the Krishna Bhatta. So whatever we hear, we should try to put into practice. We should assimilate these ideas and we should put into practice, then only it has its value. Now, as I already said, the author is trying to explain now, with the help of logic, I am not the self or the consciousness or the Purusha or the Atman is not this physical body. Now let us see in the shloka or verse. Aham vikara hinaha tu dehaha nityam vikaravan. Iti pratiyate sakshat katam syad dehakah puman. Katam syad dehakah puman. Then how can this body, this physical body be Purusha, the self? Why? They are giving 3-4 reasons. Aham vikarahinaha tu. But I am free from change. I am free from modifications. I means the self or the Purusha or the Atman is free from all type of modifications. I am without any change. But Deha, the physical body, Vikaravan, Nityam Vikaravan. It is undergoing changes constantly. There is so many metabolic reactions is happening in my body. Externally, the face looks same, the skin looks similar, but inside, so many cells are getting birth and getting born, and so many cells are dying, and so much. If I have taken the food, digestion is happening. If the digestion has happened, the body is trying to suck the energy, and the waste material is being pushed into large intestine or small intestine. So many reactions is happening in the body. So it is ever changing. Iti pratiyate, and it is perceived so clearly. Sakshat, directly. So I am without any change. I am free from all modifications, whereas the body is ever changing daily, eternally, till it exists, it is ever changing. Then it is so clear, crystal clear. Then how can you say that? Or how can you think that I am this physical body? So very clearly, from the logical point of view, the author is trying to tell that I am not this physical body. Now, if you people are following my this Aparokshanubuhti lectures constantly, and if you are able to, by any chance, if you are able to listen to my, or if you are, by chance, if you can remember my earlier classes in gist, then you should get a question that why author is trying to tell again and again, I am not the body, I am not the body, I am not the body. Already it has been told, okay, why is he telling again and again? Was there no any work for him? No, because the notion of I am the body is very strong in us. It is very strong. So to remove it, so author is trying to hammer on our head, just like we have to hammer on the bigger stone. If the stone is small, then 1 or 2 or 3 times if you strike with the hammer, it will break. And if it is a big rock, then you have to probably hammer, with the help of hammer, you may have to strike multiple times, n number of times. So similarly, when I say that I am not the body, I am not the vehicle, I am not the house, I am not the vehicle, I am not the external things, objects, more or less we can understand things clearly. But when I say I am not the body, that is not that easy to understand. Even if it is understandable, it is not easy to get convinced. Even if it is not, if it may be convinced, but it is not that easy to comprehend and put into practice. So that is the reason the author knows our problem in generally. That's the reason again and again, from different aspects, from different perspectives, the author is trying to tell that, please know it for certain that you are not the body. Now, vikarahinaha, free from changes or without any modifications. So according to the scriptures, according to the Vedantic scripture or Indian scriptures, we have got 6 types of change in the physical body. For an example, what are they? First is asti, existence. My life starts as a cell from the semen, starting from the semen cell in the mother's embryo. That is existence. Then birth slowly takes the form of a boy, a small baby form, and in 8 or 9 months, I come out and I will have my birth, jayate. That is the second modification. Then the third, when I was a child, kid, then slowly, I enter adolescent, then youth, then middle-aged. So I will have a growth. I have a growth. Vardhate, that is the third modification. The fourth is viparinamate. So in 1 or 2 years afterwards, if we see any person, there will be a lot of change. If we are seeing daily, probably we will not be able to understand it, will not be able to recognize it. But if we can see after a year or 2 or 5, then definitely we see, oh, there are a lot of changes physically in you. Of course, even in personality or in behavior also we can say, and also at the physical level, there will be a lot of biological changes. So that is called viparinamate, that is change. Then the fifth is apakshiyate. After the middle age, after 45, 50, slowly, body failure starts. Just like in the vehicle, one part, if it is becoming old, one part of the old vehicle starts giving trouble. Similarly, when we, after middle age, when we are advanced, when our age is advanced, then slowly I will have a problem with my eye, I will have my teeth may fall, I may have a problem with the ear, my digestive system, my legs, my knees, my ankles, joint pains, so many things can come. Why? Because there's a decay. Decay has started in the physical body. That is called apakshiyate, fifth one. Then the sixth is death. At some day, I will die. I will die means body will die. The subtle body, Sukshma Sharira and Karana Sharira, the causal body, the subtle body and causal body, they leave this physical body. That is called death. So we should not get confused that death means soul travels from one body to another. No, the soul can never travel. Why? When the soul or the Atman or the Purusha, when it is all pervading, where is the question of travel? If I am bound by boundaries, time and space causation, then only I can travel. When I'm all pervasive, omnipresent, then where is the question of my traveling? Then in death, what happens? Only the subtle body and causal body travels from one body to another body to the new body, that's all. Then in the physical body, then the soul resides, or the Atman or Purusha resides, we say yes. Then why it doesn't have consciousness? It doesn't have consciousness. Why? Because there is no reflecting medium called subtle body. So there are 6 types of modifications: existence, birth, growth, change, decay, and the death. So the body undergoes all these 6 types of modifications, whereas the Atman or the Purusha here, it is beyond these changes, so it is unchangeable. It is Kutastha. Whereas body undergoes continuously change. And it is seen very crystal clear, very clearly, either with respect to our body or with respect to others. Also, it is seen very clearly that the body undergoes change, whereas I don't undergo change. So I am not the body. So from the logical point of view, the author is trying to help us to discriminate between I and the body. So I am the subject, consciousness, Brahman or Atman or the Purusha, and the body. The body is an object. It is made up of 5 elements. Now the question may come, okay, the moment when I understand I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the emotions, I'm not the intellect, what will happen? What I am going to achieve? This question may come. It is very important and we should get questioned this. The answer will be, I will give an example. When you are playing in the water, a crocodile comes. Immediately you cannot run. You were enjoying in the water. When you get the crocodile, immediately you cannot run. With fear, you will run. Earlier, you were enjoying in the water. Because of crocodile came, you had a fear and you had to run. If you have got a luck, then definitely you can jump out of the water and you can save your life. Otherwise, you will become the food for crocodile. Now, your friend, he had a fear of water. He said, look, I have got a fear for water. I don't get into the river. So please, you can swim, you can enjoy, and I will sit on the bank of the river and I will enjoy. And just he was sitting on the bank of the river. When you were enjoying in the river, probably bathing or swimming or whatever, he was just observing. And when you saw the crocodile and when you were trying to escape yourself, tried yourself to escape with a lot of fear and anxiety, depression, stress, then also he was on the bank, neither nor he was perturbed. Whereas when you were there in the water, you were enjoying. When you came out of the water, when you were trying to come out of the water, you had a lot of negative feelings or stress, fear, anxiety. So when I feel that I am the body, whatever the modifications, whatever the changes undergo, I feel that I all try to attribute to me. For an example, I have a fall and there is a pain in my body. There is a pain in my anklet because there was a twist. There's a pain from the ankle twist, there's a pain, no doubt. But the pain belongs to the body, physical body, not for me. Whereas common people, we start crying, we feel morose, we feel that mood is out, we are not interested in anything. We keep on telling that, we keep complaining. Sometimes we cry, etc., etc. But if I feel that I am not the body and the ankle twist has happened to my physical body, it has got a pain, no doubt. I have to endure it, no doubt, but I am not this. When the distinction comes, when if I can practice this as a witness, then I'll be able to live peacefully at all times, at all given circumstances. The world may not change, which is a mixture of opposites: good, bad, right, wrong, happiness, unhappiness, joy, sorrow. Your people in and around, they may not change. You may have same problems, but in spite of all these things, you can live peaceful, happy, ever blissful life. That is the reason we have to understand and we have to put into practice that I am not the body. So probably now you will understand that why do we study Vedanta? Why should we study Vedanta? And what is the use of studying Vedanta? You will get a glimpse here. In the next shloka, probably in my previous class, I did say that, if you remember, in the traditional scriptural point of view, from the Indian scriptural point of view, any truth is established at three levels or from three things. What is that? One is scriptures, Vedas, we take from generally from Vedas or Upanishads. And the second is from logic, from the point of logic. We try to explain, we try to establish our point or the truth. The third is one's own experience. So if these two are, we get a help of these two, and if our experience contradicts, then we can't accept it. So in the Indian scriptures, for experience, there has given a greater place. But unfortunately, many people say philosophy, it is mere speculation. It cannot be verified. It cannot be tested. So it is all mere speculation, hypothetical arguments, or we can't accept. It is not a science. It is not like science. But it is unfortunate. This is a prejudice or wrong perception. Just like any experiment in science, we can verify. Similarly, even we can verify all these things, but it needs a lot of time. The experiment is for a long time. So in my previous class, from the point of experience, author had tried to explain that I am not the body. We had discussed. I am the experiencer, and the body or the house or the vehicles are experienced. I am the knower, and all these things are known, that we had seen. And in the 33rd verse, which I completed now, there we saw very clearly, even from the point of logic, that I am not the body. Then which is left out? The left out is only scripture. So now the author is trying to show us that even from the scriptural point of view, even if you see, you are not the body, has been told very clearly. So from 34 onwards to 38, I think, either 3 or 4 verses, the author is trying to explain that I am not the body. The self is not the body. The Purusha or the Atman is not the body. It is different from the body, even from the scriptural point of view. 34 verse, Yasmat paramiti shrutya tatha Purusha lakshanam vinirnitam vimudhena katam syadhyakah puman. Yasmat param. There is nothing higher than he. He means Purusha, self, consciousness. Iti, thus, tata shrutya, even the Shruti means the Vedas are telling that, the Vedic texts are telling that. What they are telling? Purusha Lakshanam, they are describing the nature of the Purusha. Vinirnitam is ascertained, Vimudhena, but by the wise people. Here Mudha is ignorant, Vimudha means wise. Katam, then how? Syadhyakah puman. Then how are you wrongly thinking? Why are you prejudiced? Why are you getting deluded again and again that you are the body? Means even the wise man, the people of experience of the truth, the experiencer of the truth, have ascertained the real nature of Purusha from the Shruti text. There is nothing higher than he, that is Purusha, etc. Then how can this body be Purusha? Now, what is called Shruti? Shruti means it is heard. In the olden days, the scriptures in India were not written on the books or on the paper, on the palm leaf or whatever. So it was given verbatimly. It was uttered by Guru, the teacher, and the pupil or the student used to hear and used to remember in a memory. So that's the reason the memory and other things it is very sharp in the Indians in generally. Why? Because the Guru used to tell, they used to teach, and the peoples used to listen, and they were supposed to remember the entire thing. 25,000 verses in Rig Veda alone, they used to remember. Thousands of years is over, still, but the first mantra, thousands of years before, whichever was there, and even today, the person who studies Rig Veda, he utters the same first verse. That is the beauty of tradition in India with respect to Vedas. So because it was heard from his guru and he used to remember, and he used to teach the same thing to his disciple, that is why it is called Shruti. And this Vedas or Shrutis are what? They are not just books. They are the revelations. They are the knowledge treasures. They are the revelations. They are not composed. They are not written by any poets or any authors. The rishis, the scientists who led the simple life and who dedicated their life to know the truth, they meditated and they thought and they meditated. When their minds had raised to that particular higher level, the truths, the universal truths were revealed. And whatever it was revealed, they experienced, and afterwards they imparted that knowledge to their pupil or to their disciples. So from the Guru Shishya, the teacher-disciple relationship, through that we got this Vedic knowledge, the revelatory text. So even from this scriptural point of view, the scripture is also ascertaining that I am not the body, the Purusha is not the body. So what is this Purusha? Purusha Lakshanam. Here, the author is trying to explain from Shvetashvatar Upanishad. What is this Upanishad? Upanishads are the knowledge portion of the Vedas. There are traditionally 108 Upanishads have been accepted. Among them, 10 Upanishads are major Upanishads, and the 8 Upanishads are called minor Upanishads. So generally, the 10 major Upanishads are studied in traditional manner, whoever studied. Among the 10 major Upanishads, one Upanishad is called Shvetashvatar Upanishad. In that it comes, Yasmat Param Na Param Asti. Means there is nothing higher than he, there is nothing higher than the Atman or the Brahman or self. This idea is in the Shvetashvatar Upanishad. The same idea, keeping in the mind, the author is telling that even the Vedas, the Shrutis, the scriptures are ascertaining that the Purusha is the highest, there is nothing higher than him. Then how can you say that you are the body or I am the body? And this Shvetashvatar Upanishad sloka, it is beautiful and it is generally chanted even while welcoming the monks in a traditional manner in India, and while giving bath for different gods and goddesses in the temples. They utter, means the whole gist of that particular shloka is the Atman or the self or the consciousness is beyond all the 5 sheets. It is beyond 14 worlds and it is beyond everything. But nothing is beyond than Atman, because Atman is supreme. So from the Shvetashvatar Upanishad point of view also, you are the highest person, that is self or the Purusha, and the body is not so. Then how can you say that? Or how can you think that you are the body or you are the body? In the 35th shloka also, from one more scriptural point of view, from one more Purusha Sukta, by this help, author is trying to tell, even Purusha Sukta also establishes that you are not the body. The Purusha is not the body. So he is trying to explain the 35th verse. Let us see. Sarvam Purusha eva iti sukte Purusha sangnite apyuchyate yataha shrutya katam syat dehakah puman. Sarvam Purusha eva. All this is verily the Purusha. Purusha means consciousness, self or Atman or Brahman. We should keep it in mind. Iti, thus, Purusha Sangnite Sukta, in the hymn text known as Purusha Sukta, Uchyate api, and also said, Yataha, because since, Shrutya, by the Shrutis, by the revelatory statements or by the Vedas, Katam Syat, how can be, Dekah Puman, the Purusha can be the body. Means again, the Shruti text called Purusha Sukta has declared that all this is verily the Purusha. then how can you think that? How can you feel that you are the you are the body, or this body is Purusha, or Purusha is the body? So here again, once more, from the help of Purusha Sukta, from the Vedic statement, from the scriptural statement, author is trying to remove the misconception, illusion or delusion that I am the body. So I have the body, I have a body is fine, but I am not the body. I have a mind, I am not the mind. I have emotions, I am not the emotions. I have thoughts, I am not the thought. I have a vehicle, I owe a vehicle, I am not the vehicle. I have a mobile phone, Android phone or Apple phone, but I am not the Apple phone or Android phone, similarly. So, if you know Purusha Sukta, in the beginning itself, this statement comes in after 2 or 3 lines. Sahasrashirsha Purushaha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishvato Rutvam Atyatishtadashangulam Purusha Evedagam Sarvam. So, Purusha Evedagam Sarvam. So, this is what the author is trying to tell. Purusha Eva Idam Sarvam. That Purusha, verily, that Purusha is everything. The whole world is pervaded by that Purusha, that is consciousness. Now, how to understand this? Everywhere the Vedanta says that everything is pervaded by consciousness. How to understand this? We have to probably think little. If I ask, what is this? You say it is a notebook, Swamiji. Okay, fine. It is a notebook. That's what the functionally we have given the name. But can I ask you, or can I ask you or request you to go a little more deeply, and can you tell me what it is? I think in previously, Rai Kamal, one of the devotees, she said, yeah, probably when you ask me to think deeply, yeah, it is a collection of papers. Fine, wonderful. Can you think a little more deeply? Can you scratch your head? Can you give some work for your brain? Then she started thinking and said, yeah, this paper is made up of wood, trees, wood. So it is wood, it is trees. The tree or wood is presented in different form. Fine, wonderful. Then can you go a little deeply? Yeah, the trees, again, wood has come from tree has come from plants has come from saplings or seeds. Fine. Then I said, can you go a little more deeply? But she stuck there. Then I asked same thing, you people, you think a little more deeply. Yeah, the seed, saplings, all this fine. But it has got a life, one side. The other thing that, if you go a little deeply from science point of view, I say that there are a lot of atoms. Fine. If you go a little deeply, there are protons, neutrons, electrons. Fine. So this protons, neutrons, electrons, atom, it is nothing but energy. Atomic energy, we all know. Nuclear fission and nuclear fusion, what happens? A lot of energy is there. So the condensed form of energy is matter. Today, science has accepted. So it is energy. Fine. That is what we say prana in Vedanta. So this energy has come from where? So we say that that energy has come from consciousness. So consciousness from thoughts, energy or thoughts, then it is matter. So when we see this world in the gross form, it is matter. If you can see in the little subtle form, it is a form of energy. And if you see little more in the subtlest form, that is what? Nothing but consciousness. So the whole world is pervaded by consciousness, means what? In root, in source, everything has been emerged out from the consciousness. Just like from this paper we started and we went to atoms, neutrons, protons, electrons. So we have to start thinking in a different way. So the Advaita Vedanta, the non-dualistic philosophy, it never denies the existence of the world. Many people confuse us, gets confused. Oh, the Advaita Vedanta says that the world never exists. No, the world exists, no doubt, but not in the form which we are seeing. How to understand? I just take the example of the book. So, Purusha Sukta essence, Purusha eva idam sarvam. Everything is Purusha itself. Everything is pervaded by that consciousness. So when everything is pervaded by that consciousness, when I am that consciousness, then how can I think Or how can I say, or how can you say that I am the body, which is limited by time and space causation? Now, Shantivratananda is in Dublin in Air Vedanta Society. Fine. If I'm in Dublin, I cannot be in the Phoenix Garden because I'm in the Dublin 15, Phoenix Park, or I cannot be in the Wicklow Mountain, or I cannot be in the Cork, I cannot be in the Limerick, or I cannot be in the Northern Ireland because I am bound by time and space causation because this body is a matter. Whereas mind, mind can have a world tour. It is much more subtle, isn't it? So when the consciousness is all pervading, so when I say that I am consciousness and I have a body, that is fine. I have a body, I should think, but I am not the body. Even the Purusha Sukta is also telling very clearly. And also here, the science you have to understand the truth. The subtle truth is when anything becomes more and more condensed, then it is limited in its energy, in its space, in its time, duration. But when you go more and more subtle, its energy, its space, its duration, everything will be increased. For an example, ice and water. Ice, it is limited by space and time also. Whereas water, no. It can spread little more, and it is, if you compare to ice and water, yes, the water is less gross form of ice. It has got more energy and the duration is also more. And same thing if you say the molecules, it is more. Then if you say hydrogen or oxygen, then it is more and it is more subtle, it can go more, etc., etc. So once you become more and more subtle, the duration of its existence is more and its energy is more. And whereas when it takes a condensed form, when it takes the gross form, its duration, its space, everything becomes less. So that is the one beautiful thing in gross between subtle. Now again, from one more Upanishad, from Brodharnyaka Upanishad, the author has taken from the Brodharnyaka Upanishad and is trying to tell that, okay, even from this point, that I am not the body. The Purusha or the self or the consciousness is not the body. You try to understand. Asangaha Purushaha Prokto Brodharanyake Apicha Anantamasam Shlishtaha Katham Sya Dekapuman Asangaha Purushaha Proktaha. It is said that the Purusha is unattached in reality, whereas I am attached. Why? As a body and mind complex, because I am attached to body, so I am attached to the world also. Brodharanyake Apicha. And also, it is said in Brodharnyaka Upanishad. So one Upanishad we saw in Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Now it is from Brodharnyaka Upanishad, one of the major Upanishads, among the 10 Upanishads. Anantam asamshlishtaha, be sweared with innumerable impurities. Kadam sya dekapuman. Then how can you say that the Purusha is the body? Why? The body, this physical body, has a lot of impurities. Sweat we have got, pus we have got, fat we have got, muscles inside, then so many unwanted excreta, so many things we are there. Thank God that we have got a good covering by skin. If the skin is not there, if everything would have been transparent, just like a transparent glass, transparent things we get, if the body would have been transparent like that, then you would have said so many things we used to see, which is ugly, which we used to feel ugly probably because of so many unwanted things. So when this body has got a lot of impurities, then whereas the Purusha, the self, is free from all these impurities, even the Brodharnyaka Upanishad also confirmed that, then how can you think that you are the body? Asangoyam Purushaha. In the Shvetashvatara Upanishad, Swayam Jyoti Brahmana, in that particular portion of the Brodharnyaka Upanishad, it is told that Purusha is not connected to anything. Purusha is not connected to anything in the creation. It is relationless and it is connectionless. It is relationless, it is connectionless, it is not related to anything in the creation. What does it mean? Means this body it has got. Okay, what is the connection with this body and the world? Okay, I come from India. I am Indian. I born in such and such a place. I'm the citizen of this particular country. I'm the resident of the Ireland. Now I am in Ireland. So this body has got so many connections, isn't it? I have got a connection with my father, with my mother, with my friends, with the devotees of the ashrama, wherever we stay, all these things. So similarly, you have got connection with your family, with your friends, with your colleagues, all these things. So if there is a body and mind, we have got a lot of connections. And with so many people, we have got emotional connections. When he or she talks, we feel so happy. When he or she doesn't text us, doesn't message us, doesn't talk us, we feel very annoyed. We feel very unhappy. Look, I expected just a single call, just a message. I didn't get it. Hundreds of people might have spoken with us, but he or she didn't speak. We feel unhappy. Why? Because of that emotional connection or emotional contact, maybe love. So now this body and mind has got a lot of connections, relations, attachment. Whereas the Purusha is not at all, has got any connection, not relation, nor any attachment. So from this point, the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is telling that the self or the Atman or the Brahman or consciousness is not connected to anything in this creation. It is relationless and it is connectionless. Because we are thinking that we are body and mind, we have got all these connections. But in reality, it is not so. Because the Purusha is beyond all these things and it is neither the body or mind. When this firm conviction happens, what happens? You may live in the world, you will have a connection with everyone, but you will not be perturbed by anything. That's what. My Gurudev, most revered Swami Raghunathanji Maharaj, when he was in 97 year, 96th or 97th birthday was celebrated in the Belur Mutt, which is the headquarters of Ramakrishna Mutt and Ramakrishna Mission, which is in West Bengal, India. So the disciples were very happy to celebrate his birthday at the age of 96 or 97. They all they all requested Maharaj, Swamiji, we have got one prayer and desire. The Swamiji asked, okay, what is that? We would like to celebrate your 100th birthday, centenary. Please bless us. Look, at the age of 96, at the age of 97 it was. So age of 97, the disciples and the devotees are asking, please bless us so that we shall celebrate your centenary. Means we request you, we expect that, we will feel happy that you should live till 100 years. Anyone, if you speak on that to birthday, will feel very happy, will feel thankful. Thank you for your wishes. If God wills, okay, let us see, blah, blah, all we say. But he said, no, it is not possible. The whole situation became, it was so fun and joy and it was so festival atmosphere it was there on the birthday. Suddenly, when he said it is not possible, everyone became grave and people started thinking, oh my God, why did we ask this question on this birthday? That means what? He will not live till his 100th year. Then the devotees or disciples, then just they hold out themselves and with a little fear, they asked, why Maharaj? Don't you want to live? Don't you wish to live 100 years? He said, no, according to my prarabdha karma, the actions, whatever I have done in this previous lives or in this present life, according to that, I was supposed to leave this mortal coil or leave this world at the age of 92. He used to address Sri Ramakrishna as master. Since my master wanted to do some work through this body, he gave 5 years of grace period. So 5 years grace period is over. Now I will be leaving this world. The whole disciples became very shocked. It was a rude shock for all the disciples. They all felt very unhappy and they felt, why did we browse this subject on at this occasion, on his birthday occasion? Then they said, Maharaj, why don't you ask your master, that is Sri Ramakrishna, at least on our behalf, to bless you or to give you 3 more years grace period so that you can live at least 3 more years, so that we'll all celebrate your centenary. Then he said, no, it is his will, it is master's will. He has decided 5 years of grace period, that is over, I am going. He said this in December, and in April, he left his mortal coil. Now just you imagine, at the age of 97, and that too on his birthday, he's telling that, I will be leaving shortly. What a tremendous amount of courage he has got. Why? Asangaha Purushaha. The Purusha is really unattached. Since he was unattached to the world, he was unattached to his body and mind, he was unattached to people, that's why he never cared. And this is the same person when he was in Burma in the 1948 or probably around 1950 or between 45 and 50, where the Burma got its independence and most of the Indians were sent from the Burma, that is Myanmar, and many Indians as refugees, they had to come long walk from the Burma or Myanmar to India. And there was a center there, and Swami Ranganathanji Maharaj, my Gurudev, Revered Gurudev, was the head of that particular ashram. Then when our people also, ashrama people were also asked to leave, but they said that because out of respect for monks, we will make a special arrangements so that you can go by, flight or whatever. Then he said, no. Why? When my fellow beings, my fellow Indians, when they are walking, how can I go in the flight? He denied that, and he walked along the common people, along with them, and wherever, whatever water he got it little, he took it, and whatever little morsel of food, contaminated food, most of the time, whatever he got, he took it, and as a result, his stomach was spoiled. His health was spoiled, but he never bothered. When he entered India, when he came to Calcutta, just there was a bones and just a covering on the bones. He had become so thin, his stomach and back was touching each other because of lack of food. Probably few people were died also. See, he had that so much fellow feeling for others, and because that Advaitic, everyone is Atman or Brahman, in everyone there is a divinity. So when people are suffering, how can I be happy, or how can I get privileges? Such a person, he had so much love, affection for everyone. He helped the people, fellow Indians, while coming back to India. And the same person, when he was asked to live for 3 more years, he said, no, my time is over. My master's grace is over. Grace period is over. I'm going back. I'm leaving shortly, he said, and he left. Asangaha Purusha. He used to feel for people. He used to feel for people. He was ready always to serve people. He was always ready to serve the humanity. He used to love and used to serve the humanity, serve the people, but he was never attached to anything, either power, position, name, fame, or people. Because it was only love, it was never the attachment. Not only for the world, not only for power and position, not only for name and fame, not only for his position, but even to his own body, he was never attached. That was his greatness. Asangaha Purushaha. In reality, the Purusha is unattached. So the Revered Swami Ranganathanji Maharaj, he was unattached. So in the 97th birthday, he said, my grace period is over. I am going. In 4 months, he left his mortal coil. So this is the beauty. This is the greatness of the detachment. If we are able to practice this detachment, we shall love the people, we shall help the people, we shall serve the people, we shall build all our castle as a duty, no doubt from the sense of duty. But if we can stay as a witness, and if we can practice this detachment from the world and from our own body, then we can live the happiest life, we can live the productive life, and we can live one of the best life, and we can leave this mortal coil or this earth or this world happily. So even the Abhinivesha, the fear of death, cannot shake us. The death, immediately it can shake us, isn't it? We all have got fear of death. But whereas, if you see in this Revered Swami Ranganathanji Maharaj's life, he had conquered the death, the fear of death. He never bothered, even never perturbed by his passing away or of his death. Even 2 or 3 days before, when he was admitted to hospital because of his ill health, And when the General Secretary of the Ramakrishna Merchant Mission, when he went and inquired, how are you, Swamiji? He said, I am fine, I am okay. So happily he's telling, and there was a nasal feeding was going on, IV fluids have put, and so many things. Oh, all these pipes, different pipes and different instruments they have kept on my body because they want to monitor my health. Fine. So that the doctors are doing their jobs. I am happy. So just 2 or 3 days before he's passing away, he told that, I am happy, I am happy, I am happy. Nasal feeding is happening. So many instruments they have been put to monitor. So his health was very critical, but he was never morose. He had never any anxiety. He had never any depression. He never felt that, okay, I'm going, what will happen to me? Okay, I have to die, blah, 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 all these things. So when you have the detachment from this body, you can conquer the fear of death. Nothing can shake you. Nothing can bring you agony, fear, unhappiness, stress, strain, etc., etc. So that is the beauty of Advaita Vedanta. That is the beauty of detachment. That is the beauty of staying as witness. So that is the reason we have to study Advaita Vedanta. So here, in this particular sloka, in the 36th verse, from the scriptural point of view, from the Purusha Sukta, the author is trying that I am really unattached and free from all the impurities, whereas the body has got innumerable impurities. Then how can you say that, or how can I think that I am the body? I have the body, I have a body, but I am not the body. So we have to understand. So in the next verse, the author will be telling even from the point of Karma Kanda, the sacrificial portion of the Vedas also, they tell that. So the rebirth is being told in the next verse. In the coming Thursday, we shall try to understand even from different points how it is, and we'll try to understand some more concepts from the author's point of view, or from the Advaita Vedanta point of view, from the scientific point of view, from the non-dualistic school of philosophy of point of view. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.